Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with a brand new Love After Lockup Season 4 Episode 7. If you are new here, then welcome. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. When the episode first opens up, Deontay and Nicole are in the kitchen making dinner. Hopefully it's edible, child. For his mom to come over and read her for filth, okay, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And she's like, I hope your mom likes me. You know, if not, I'll never see her again. Well, honey, that can be arranged. Child, don't threaten her with a good time. She over there fingering that salad and placing it in the bowls. And I'm like, oh, my God. See, this is exactly why I don't eat from people's homes, because you just never know what you eating, honey. I would never eat that. And then the mama going to come in and eat the salad unbeknownst to her. And Nicole done had her nasty little fingers all in the food. Oh, child. So then she's like, babe, I got the price sheet. It's called a brochure, okay? It's called a pamphlet. I got the price sheet for the boobs. He's like, oh, okay. So he's looking at it. She's like, don't even have an attitude, because I told you I wanted boobs. And she's like, they're only 6,000. I thought they were going to be 8,000. Girl, your whole existence is 8,000. So he's like, oh, okay. Well, you know, if I have to bust my tail at work or pick up extra shifts or not pay my rent to get them, I will. Deontay, don't be silly. Don't be stupid. Okay. I really want to be nice to you. But at the same time, that don't make no sense. You don't never not pay your bills so that she can get some boobs put up on that chest of hers. Okay. She better keep wearing those Victoria's Secret bras and go sit down somewhere, honey. She don't even like you like that. Child, this is a mess. She's like, so you won't pay your rent for me? You looking at him because he's an idiot, huh? Oh, okay. So then he said, yeah, you know, to keep you happy. So that's why you had that nasty OnlyFans, trying to pay for them boobs. You ain't fooling me. So you gonna be homeless so she can have boobs. You might think those pillows you buying will be good enough for you to sleep on, but they won't be. So she's like, oh, okay, it's Tia's birthday. Let me go call her. He was like, not the ex. Yes, baby, definitely the ex, honey. She ain't talking about Tia and Tamara from Sister Sister. She's definitely talking about that ex that she's been talking about since she's gotten out. He's like, your ex? So she go into the room and he follows behind her, right? She's like, can you just give me a second? Just give me 1 minute, Deontay. He's like, you think you about to call her in my house on the phone that I bought? And is. Okay, yeah, she definitely thinks that. Child, she runs the relationship. She gonna talk on your phone, sit in your room in the house that Jack built. That's exactly what she's about to do, honey. Why are you acting brand new? But I'm glad you're piping up. So then he leaves and she proceeds to talk. And she's like, girl, he's tripping. So in the kitchen, he's saying to himself, he's talking about, and if I was talking to one of my exes, it would be a problem. What ex, Mr. NWA? Honey, and I'm sure she'd welcome it so she can cheat in peace. Okay, she'd probably be happy that you talk to anybody, Nicole Jr. included. So she's like, I'll come take care of you, because the girl is telling her that she's not feeling too good, right? She is so disrespectful. I would slap her face. Deontay, let me tell you something. If I were your sister, I know you only have a brother, but I would have to fight Nicole just off GP. Okay. The fact that she is so blatantly disrespectful and acts like her, don't think, girl, you just got out of the pen. Okay. Quite frankly, you should be glad he's even looking at you, because we don't know how much time you actually have. So anyway, so she's like, girl, I don't want to meet his mom. Come get me. So then she kneels down and she sees Nicole Jr. under the bed, aka the sex toy. She's like, oh, he got this nasty sex toy. It's underneath the bed. She was like, yeah, you know, he told me he had a sex toy, but I thought, you know, I didn't think anything of it. But the thought of him having sex with it, that just creeps me out. Well, the thought of him touching you creeps you out as well, honey. So pick a struggle. Plus, you barely let the man breathe in your direction. So what is he supposed to do? Girl, shut up. Oh. So then he comes in. She's like, what is that? Girl, quit playing these games. Everybody knows exactly what it is, honey. He is not afraid to tell anyone. He even told your mama exactly what it is. Girl, he's like, we not on there right now. We talking about you. Exactly. Don't let her deflect. We see what's going on, Deontay. Let her know, honey. Let her know. He's like, you sitting in here talking to some trick, making a joke out of me. Well, I mean, y'all are a joke, but you tell her, Deontay, honey. Don't let her run over you. You speak your speech. You go ahead and pipe up. He's speaking directly to you, honey. Go and tell her what you got to say, even though you're going to reel it in a few minutes. But child, while you at it, just go and get it out. She's like, were you sitting in here? Tell me what I said word for word. Childish and 23 years old, child. A fool. He said, I heard everything you said. You said, come pick me up. She's like, I did not say that. Girl, not you gaslighting this man. So she's like, I said, come get me because I found that sex doll and I was pissed. Girl, you knew about that sex doll. You knew that he was using it. Okay. He even gave her the name Nicole Jr. So stop acting like you found another woman under the bed. Okay, please cut the crap. You don't want to be there because you don't want to meet that mama, because you don't want her to go off on you, because you don't like Deontay. Okay, and you ain't fooling us. Girl, shut up. She must have been on World's Dumbest Criminals, because let me tell you something. Do you not know that you're being filmed? And you've been disgusted by him before the sex toy. So please, honey, just any old excuse. He's like, you trying to play me. And is. Okay, Deontay, I'm happy you actually understanding what's actually happening here. Okay, I'm getting more and more proud of you as the episodes progress. Okay, and so he's like, you in this for what you can get, then you can just put my phone down and you can leave. Child, she ain't going nowhere. Yes, but get lost, toots, and take your saggy tig old bitties with you, child. Take them saggy boobs and get out. Moving forward. Stan's still at the restaurant trying to get Lisa to go back to his place so he can put his grubby little paws all over. Ugh. And run his fingers through those terrible extensions. Stan, Lisa does not like men. Okay? I don't know if you didn't understand that cut when she got out of jail or what's happening, but Lisa does not like men. Let alone you. She definitely doesn't like you. She's like, well, what do you really want to do? I know that's right, Lisa. Just ask him. Look, do you want some Hello Kitty in exchange for me getting this car or what? Okay, because if he was on seeking arrangements, he was seeking an arrangement. So he was like, I just want to make love to you. Stan will have to show me his bank statement before we proceed, okay? At least Barbie getting money out of Deontay. Stan ain't gave you nothing, honey, but those synthetic wigs, and then told you were a crappy parent. Child, I would be treating Stan that way too. So she said, look, I'll go and I'll talk, but I'm not promising I'm staying. She's like, me leaving here doesn't mean it's cookies and cream. Well, honey, he wants some of your peaches and cream. Shout out to 112. So then she's like, he owes me money. I know that's right, girl. Go collect your money or don't let him pass go. Get your $200 before he puts his hands all over you, okay? So then they get in the car. Stan started lying. Lisa said, I need my own place, like a 1-bedroom. He said, I want you to stay with me. She said, I don't think that can happen right now. Maybe in like 4 to 6 months. Listen to me, Lisa. Okay, you should have been saving up all those little bits of money that he was sending you while you were locked up, so that you could have gotten your own place when you got out. Stan is not about to let you get him with the okie doke. You just come out demanding stuff, talking crazy, y'all fussing and fighting every 2 seconds. You know his mouth already reckless, and you know you're going to come over there and take your name off the lease and kick you out and do eviction proceedings. Honey, I wouldn't trust Stan to do nothing for me. Please don't give me anything, honey. I'll work at Jack in the Box and get my own job and get my own apartment before I let Stan do anything for me. So he said, I thought you believed in forgiveness. She's like, well, what about the car? And I do believe in forgiveness. That's why I'm in here. Okay, especially after you talked about my parenting. He was like, are you going to the lot? He said, well, look, you don't have a license. Stan don't have no money. Well, at least millions. He created that profile on that site because he wanted a young gold digger that would let him do whatever. Stan, you should have found you someone in college. Okay. So then she would be happy with you giving her $500 a week because she's been eating out of the mess hall for the past month. And anything outside of campus life is like a gold mine, honey. It's like you're striking gold. So you shouldn't have gotten a mature woman like Lisa because she's going to demand things. You should have got a little girl that's going to let you tie up and do whatever it is you're trying to do to her down there in that sex dungeon, because Lisa ain't falling for a child. She's like, you promised me $5,000 for a car. He's like, oh, okay, I'll give you the $5,000 and let you go to jail. I can't stand, child. He is a mess. She's like, it's okay. I'm a big girl. This man, she probably was thinking to herself, honey, this ain't my first rodeo. If I go, I go. Ooh, child. So he's like, you're going to be sorry. She was like, why are you acting like this? You said you were going to give it to me. He said, look, she wants all these things. I feel like it's just like punishment for me. Stan, you were on a sugar daddy website. What do you expect? And I think that was a fake profile. I think you lied about your money. But I'm going to get into my theory a little bit later. Let's keep going. So she's like, well, these are my goals and I'm going to establish them. You mean accomplish them, but it's okay, girl. He said, well, a great goal you have is to go to jail. Baby, Stan be talking reckless. And he look crazy. Let me tell y'all something. I never argue in a car because people are insane. Okay? Been and drove you off somewhere and thrown you in a, in a field with a whole bunch of trees in a wooded area. Oh, no, ma'am. Honey, I do not argue in a car, especially when another person is driving, even when I'm driving. Child, it's just the space is too enclosed and temperatures are rising and people are screaming and you're supposed to be focusing on the road. Just a word to the wise, men and women, do not start an argument in a car. It's a bad idea. Honey, why they putting up these signs saying click it or ticket and don't text while driving? Honey, don't argue while driving because it's a recipe for disaster. So then a cop pulls up behind them. You see the red and blue lights, honey. I bet that stomach sank to the bottom then, Lisa. I thought you said you was a big girl. She's like, oh my God. If he asks for my ID, they're going to tear this Mustang apart. And scene. In the next scene, Anissa driving again, child, telling us more than we need to know about her getting a tan before Ghost sees her naked. Honey, you could have kept that to yourself. She's like, yeah, he's been in the halfway house for weeks and now he's coming home. Girl, is he? Because you said the last 2 times he ghosted you. So I'm just trying to make sure that he actually going to come out this time and go with you. And that's exactly why I named him Ghost. So then she said, he couldn't get a day pass and that really upset her as well. But he did ask her for money. Well, of course he did. Ghost emerges with a fresh cut, still no teeth, but Anissa is happy. As soon as he gets in the car, she starts talking about the wedding. She's like, yeah, Pearl went to go pick out the flowers. He's like, yep. And then she's like, yeah, I wanted those purple peonies. Girl, that man is not going to marry you. And if he does, do not get a life insurance policy together. Honey, I'm just putting you up on game because you seem like you need guidance at your big old age. So she's like, yeah, I told her how I wanted the plum tulips. She's like, we're getting married in 2.5 months on a bridge in the woods. Oh, poor delusional Anissa. Girl, y'all not getting married. He's like, well, we have to write a letter to the BOP to get their approval. Boy, you done just came up with that. He probably give her an address to a P.O. box and do it himself, honey, just to deny it. I do not trust Ghost. I don't trust him at all. Now all of a sudden you need approval from the BOP. She's like, so that we can get married? So that means they can deny it? He was like, yep. They just told me that today. I'm sure they did. Your mind just told you that in the way over to wherever y'all are going because she started talking about this wedding. Child, ain't no BOP stopping you from getting married. And yes, I did research BOP and some of them do have to have permission to get married. But Jeff is a bold-faced, toothless lie. Okay? So then they arrive to their humble abode. She's like, you like it? He's like, yeah, I like it. But then again, honey, he's been in prison. He's like, is there food in there? So he opens up the refrigerator, right? She's like, yeah. So he's like, can I have anything I want in here? Oh, man. Okay, see, moments like this, it makes me sad for them. It's the things that we take for granted. And, they've made wrong choices and they've lived hard lives and they've been in jail. And, something as simple as opening up the refrigerator and grabbing a bottle of water or soda, or some people say pop, and just being able to drink it and not having to ask, is this for me? I don't know, child. Sometimes things tug at my heartstrings. I'm a little softy. So he has to charge his ankle bracelet, honey, like a cell phone. And she pinches him to make sure he's real. He's like, what you did that for? She was like, I just want to make sure you're real, honey. You just want to make sure he's sitting up in here. I understand, Anissa. I understand, child. He ain't came in 11 years. So you just trying to make sure everything is everything. She's like, I've been waiting 11 years to get you to this bedroom. He's like, well, let's go. Oh, another morning with no bath. Oh, child. She's like, you got enough juice? Ew. Okay, just ew. So he's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting intimate with Anissa. Please just don't show us. Honey, that's all I'm asking y'all. Please do not show us. He said he hasn't been with a woman in 37 months. The math ain't mathing, Jeff. Okay? Because she said that you and her have been in a relationship for 11 years. 11 years does not 37 months of no sex make. Honey, I'm not surprised, child. So Anissa did us a solid and covered the camera as they got into it. Child, thank you so much. Over in the next scene, we're back with Brittany and Ray. She walks over to the grandma and she's like, I didn't know you were coming. She was like, well, it wasn't planned. He doesn't know I'm coming either. Then the grandma let us know, honey, I came because he's my grandson and I don't need a reason or an invite to come. Ooh, child, that's her baby, honey. Brittany better be careful, child, because grandma do not play that. Y'all hear me? So then Ray comes out and Britt once again running up to him to make sure she gets the first hug. So then he gave his grandma some love after he hugged Brittany. And Brittany said, you going with me or you going with her? Trying to passively aggressively ask him, honey, he's going to go with you. Okay, because he want to lay down somewhere and he don't want to be asked 1,000,001 questions and he don't want to eat grandma food and he hoping you stop by somewhere and get him something to eat. Child. So he was like, I'm going with you, of course. So then grandma said, at this point in the game, I got my eye on both of them. And whether Brittany and her wigs like it or not, I'm going to intervene if I have to. I know that's right. Well, child, she ain't say nothing about her wigs, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. Child, they're on their way home, right? So then they pull up. She's like, you like your house? I hate when they do that. Girl, just get them in there, usher them in and sit on down, child. So they get to the house and they're looking around. She's like, this is the living room and this is our room right here. And then they go sit on the edge of the bed. Complete awkward silence. I said, oh, honey, he don't like Brittany. Child, he don't like you. I don't know if it's that you keep wearing that same recycled wig. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it's not giving what's supposed to be gave when they first get out, honey. Even Jeff want to lay Anissa down. I mean, he just came out and sat completely quiet. I don't know if it's the cameras that's throwing him off. I'm not sure what it is. So then she's like, you want me to make you some breakfast? He was like, yeah. She goes in, makes some breakfast, a little pancake action and whatnot. He said, you know, he hasn't been with a woman in 3.5 years. But, honey, he looked a little unsure to me. The timeline looked like he was trying to think about it. I'm like, okay, Ray gonna be trouble. And I told y'all he was gonna be trouble. And I was right. She's like, you know, I thought it would be a little bit more touching and feeling. Honey, he ain't feeling you like that, boo. That's why it's not more touching and feeling. Child, take that wig off and lay it down. Over at Courtney's kennel, she's getting on to Josh about playing video games day in and day out. She said, you know, that's all he does. What's so different from prison than what you're doing now? Honey, the fact that he can go to the refrigerator and get whatever he wants, honey, that's about it. And all these dogs surrounding him. So she's like, you know, he's been granted 14 days to stay with her to quarantine, but, you know, mentally he's not there. So the least that he can do is just try as far as their relationship is concerned. Well, you know what time it was when you went to prison for him. She's like, I went to prison for him and I did everything I could. And I mean, the least he could do is try. You should have never done that. Okay. If anything, slide your contact information to him and say, look, when you've been paroled, give me a call. I'll be at the kennel. But it ain't no way you should have created a relationship with this man, had this proxy marriage, and then lose your job and go to the pen all within the same time span of 6 months. Child, that's crazy. So she's like, yeah, you know, he'll be paroling to his cousin's house soon. So then all of this, she goes wedding dress shopping. She said, you know, even though things are rocky, wedding dress shopping should help. Yeah, when I'm in doubt, I buy a wedding dress as well. Child, what is wrong with you? See, it's something wrong with your choices. Okay, that's what I'm starting to see. So then her friend Audra shows up and asks how it's going. Well, girl, it's going. Get on in here, child. So then they're talking to each other, right? She said he always turns her down for sex. Oh, no, ma'am. She wishes he held her hand, even though it sounds corny, and he flushed his ring down the toilet. The whole time she trying on this dress. The whole time she's telling Audra about her experience, the lady is fitting her for the dress. I'm like, this is crazy. So you gonna say yes to the dress while he over there sitting up playing Call of Duty? Child, I cannot be bothered. I'm sorry, honey. That's just too funny to me. But let me tell y'all something. My first husband flushed his ring down the toilet. Honey, I never replaced it. I wish he had flushed himself down the toilet, quite frankly. But that's neither here nor there. Moving forward. Honey, why would you spend money on a wedding when it's already rocky? You went to jail for a man that your friend is worried about you making it with, and they don't even want to touch you. So I'm just, make it make sense. Child, okay. I don't have time. Back over at Deonte's house, he's telling her, you know, he could have been cheated on her. That's right, Deonte. Put her in her place. Let her know you could have had all the Nicoles if you wanted to. The real ones, not the Nicole Juniors. You did everything you could not to cheat on her. You tell her, Deonte, and don't let her get away with that. I know that's right. So he's like, you're not about to make a fool out of me. Well, honey, I mean, it's a little bit too late for that, but go on, speak your speech, child. Go on, pipe up. So he's like, I'm not arguing with you. She was like, I really don't want to argue with you. He's like, I'm not arguing with you. She's like, I really don't feel like arguing. 2 seconds later, he's like, my mom is on her way, babe, so we need to get ready. Deonte, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I don't know what kind of hole she has on you. You ain't even touched it. Ain't smelled it, ain't looked at it, nothing. So exactly what is so great about her that allows you to allow her to make a fool of you. You're just a fool. You know you're in love. Shout out to Tina Turner. Y'all ain't making no sense. 2 seconds later, his mom shows up. He introduces mom to Nicole. Honey, mom was looking her up and down like, girl. So she told her, she said, just another white blonde stripper type, but that's what my son goes for. Mama did not come to play. Do y'all hear me? At all. Child, what is on this plate? So then Nicole is sitting there. She's like, I'm sitting here with butterflies in my stomach, and she's staring at me, looking at me like I'm not good enough for her son. Girl, how you know? She just got through telling us you wasn't good enough for her son. Girl, you be knowing. Okay, Nicole. So Nicole is telling his mom all these lies straight to her face. She said, I love your son. She said, you love my son. I know that's right, honey. Let's ask the burning questions. She said, I do love your son. Girl, you can tell you partake in criminal activities. Oh, lying heifer. She said, why do you love my son? Yeah, let's get to the why. Why do you love him? She said, he's a big gentleman. His mom said, yeah, I know he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's been through a lot. Oh, man. Nobody bet not ever try to play my child this way, honey. Like she playing Deontay. Mama is not dumb, honey. You ain't fooling her. So then he said, here's how I feel. I love that you're protective over me, but I'm a grown man and I chose her. If you don't accept her, you can't accept me. Deontay, have you lost your rabbit mind? How dare you try to go against your mother for this piece of trash over here? Okay, and normally I don't really just like to go in on people. I do like to go in on people like that. I just got through lying, honey. Let me tell you something. You don't go against your mama for nobody like Nicole. Nicole is using you for everything you got in that Chase bank account. And when that thing goes into the negative, she's going to be gone. She got a whole girlfriend and a boyfriend. While you sitting up here sleeping with a plastic doll. And you need to replace that thing. It's disgusting. Okay, you've had it for quite some time, honey. It's time for a replacement. You don't use them forever. They're not real people. Y'all gonna sit up here and talk to your mama like that? Boy, that's when I would have politely gotten on up and said, oh, okay, well, I don't accept either one of you. And I would have left. Child, I wish my son would pipe up on me like that. Child, you crazy. So his mom was like, I know you ain't coming at me like that. Honey, let her drain them pockets. That'll learn him. Let her drain them pockets. She said, you can't tell me who to accept. I don't even know this woman. I know that's right. So she said, I think the doubt comes from the other girls because, his ex was in prison too. And I have asked for money, but I am, you are what? Honey, am what? Not dumb enough to fumble the bag until after you get your boobs? Oh, well, honey, we know that. Child, you ain't telling us nothing new, but tell us something we don't know. She's like, I'm tired of being compared to his ex. So then here he go. Well, I'm not trying to compare you to my ex, but you would be paranoid too because of all the things that I went through. She's like, he's like, I'm just really paranoid about it. So then his mom said, well, you can't be that paranoid. You went back to the site and did. So then he said, whose side you on, mama? Honey, not yours. I'm on the side of right. And you just told her if you can't accept Scammer Barbie, then you dead to me. Well, you didn't exactly say it like that, but I'm just saying you may as well had. Child, goodbye. So then he tells her how shady Nicole has been when she got out, right? He said, you've been out for a week now and I still sleep every night alone. Mama said, stop the bus. Stop the bus and let us all get off. Oh, child, honey, stop the presses. Mama said, I know you fucking lying. You've been locked up for 4 years and women love sex just as much as men. And you don't see nothing wrong with that? She said, something is wrong with it. I don't think you have a problem being intimate. You have a problem being intimate with my son. Honey, and does. I am so happy somebody is here that's going to put her in her place. Because she really thinks that people are dumb. Honey, ain't nobody Deontay but Deontay. Mama from the old school, honey, she sees straight through her BS. Deontay, you need to shut up right now and you need to listen. Okay, while you sitting up there grinning with them big old teeth, you need to be listening to what your mama is saying. Open them big old eyes and look directly at Nicole and see that she is playing you for a fool. It's like you see it, but you don't really see it. It's ridiculous. So then Nicole was like, I'm just scared to have sex. I didn't have sex in 4 years. She said, you weren't afraid to ask him for money? I know that's right. So Nicole started trying to explain, right? His mom said, man, please. Child, you ain't been intimate in 4 years. He over here with a blow-up doll. I said, oh, not mama know about the blow-up doll too. Child, I forgot all about the fact that he put that thing in that dishwasher. Honey, I would not be eating off one dish in that house. Honey, now that you reminded me. Thank you so much, mama. Moving forward. Anissa and Jeff in there laying in this bed. Ugh, I know there's a stench in there. I just know it is. Neither one of them want to move because she's in heaven. And he's like, I don't even want to get up. Well, honey, we knew that was going to happen whether you had sex with her or not. She's like, last night was great, but a lady never tells. Oh, Lord. Thank God you a lady because we really didn't want to know. So then Jeff is like, it's easy to meet women. Honey, with them teeth? He's like, but I want to be faithful to Anissa, so I haven't really been doing nothing. So he's outside texting Christine and Old Flame, right? They're outside eating breakfast because she comes out with this plate of food. And then here comes Kyle. Kyle and her live on the same property. I was like, oh, okay, that's a little plot twist. Kyle tells us he's been to prison too. I'm like, oh, okay, so you know the game. He's like, I had nowhere to go when I first got out, and he really should be happy that he has a place like Anissa has for him to come. So Jeff said, he went back to the streets when he got out because Kyle had asked him, where did you go those other 2 times? He said he went back to the streets, but now he loves Anissa, so he wants to be here. So he said, look, I got to talk to you about something. I have a big secret. Child, I can't wait to hear next week or the week after next what this big secret is. Child, please don't let Anissa be hurt, honey. She already going through enough. Back over here with Deontay, he's driving Nicole home, and he was like, I was scared for a minute, but I think Mom's likes you. What? What dinner were you at? Child, he's steady talking about living together and the moon and the stars above. Child, she looking all out the window, not paying absolutely no attention. So then they get to her house, right? She's like, you don't have to come in. I don't want the dogs to bark. He was like, okay, well, I'll just walk you to the door. She was like, no, I don't want them barking. Everybody sleep. My mom, she gets mad. Listen to me, girl. As scary as Deontay looks, the dog's gonna bark regardless. Okay, so stop trying to play this man like some type of dummy. Okay, and we're gonna see how stupid he is when he drops you off. So he was like, you know what? I always walk her to the door, and she ain't never told me that nothing about the dogs barking and all of that. And she's never sat on that porch. So something is telling me to turn around. Child, then we see Nicole coming out. She walks up to this car, looks like Zach is in it. At first I thought it was going to be Tia, but it's actually Zach. So she walks up to him. Then again, it could be Tia, child, because they be cutting that hair. So I'm not sure. But we see somebody sitting in the car, and she's walking up to it. Baby, Deontay did that skirt. Baby, he turned that car around. Nicole, what are you doing? Child, and scene. Child, I cannot wait to see next week because I already know he going to throw her stuff all over the ground, okay? And I can't wait to get into it as we get into it. In the final scene, Stan is being pulled over and Lisa is there panicking. Well, you were ready to risk it all a few minutes ago. He got stopped for a tail light. Now, Lisa, you said that you were okay. But as soon as you saw those red and blue lights, your stomach sank. That's what he was trying to get you to understand. Okay? Child. So then he got stopped for a tail light, but he got a warning. She was like, yeah, you always bragging about your perfect driving record and you only have 1 ticket. He was like, yeah, he looked at my perfect driving record and he let me go. No, he looked at those cameras and he saw the WeTV people taping and he was like, I don't want no parts of this. And he gave you a warning. Child. So they get to the house and she's like, you just want me to go upstairs. No, I don't want to go upstairs. So baby, what did she say that for? Stan got pissed. So she's like trying to touch him. He's like, don't touch me. Get away from me. And then he says, at least I have a car. That's why I have a car and you don't. Baby, Stan be talking out the side of his neck. He getting pissed, talking crazy again. Then he throws her stuff outside. She's like, see, I got to get away from here before he actually really does call the cops. He's like, all you want to do is just demand stuff and you don't want to. Baby, look, if you're not going to give it up, please leave Stan alone. Okay, if you're not going upstairs to put on that straitjacket, leave Stan alone. She's like, well, he's a free millionaire. Girl, you need to ask Nicole how to take a man for his money because you're not doing it right. The extensions are all wrong. The approach is all wrong. And you're not going to get that car or that apartment. Child, Nicole would have had a house on the hill, a brand new car, and Deontay would have been paying the bills for her and her man and her 2 kids. Child, this is a mess. Stan is unstable. Okay, I know people are like, Stan ain't going to let Lisa scam him. No, Stan is crazy. Okay, I don't know how y'all don't see it. Something is wrong with him. He flips too easily. No, he's not going to let Lisa scam him. Okay, I'm all for that. But something about him is creepy. Something about him is off. Okay? And you are not a millionaire. You have a 2000 Mustang with a busted tail light, that white refrigerator, and that bad toupee. Stan is a scammer himself. And scene. Child, that was the end of the episode. They always leave